harder you try to escape anxiety, the tighter anxiety grips you. You might believe your unease arises from the uncertainty of tomorrow, from the countless possibilities that lie just beyond your reach. But if you're honest with yourself, perhaps you'll sense something more subtle beneath that surface level worry. It's not really the unknown future that unsettles you. It's your relentless desire to predict and control every moment before it even unfolds. Take a quiet moment and gently ask yourself, what is it exactly that you're striving so hard to manage? Is it genuinely a future that hasn't arrived yet? Or is it something deeper, quieter, that you haven't fully recognized? Perhaps beneath all this striving lies a silent fear, a hidden doubt quietly influencing how you see yourself and the world around you. There's a line from Carl Jung I've never forgotten. What you resist persists. I wonder if this sounds like something you've experienced. Could it be your own quiet resistance, your subtle refusal to accept uncertainty that amplifies your inner tension? Perhaps anxiety isn't the core issue at all, but merely a symptom of this inner struggle you've been unknowingly fueling. Maybe anxiety isn't trying to make your life harder. Maybe it's just a subtle yet powerful reminder to look inward and reconnect with parts of yourself you've been neglecting for too long. You may not have realized it yet, but your relentless desire for absolute security might just be the root cause of your deepest insecurities. Alan Watts put it beautifully and simply: the very act of striving for complete security is precisely what fuels our anxiety. Life by its very nature is unpredictable, ever-changing, and impermanent. Yet instead of learning to flow with it, you may find yourself fighting against this inherent uncertainty, desperately clinging to the illusion that the future can be controlled. It's a natural impulse, of course. The human mind is wired to crave stability, to seek patterns, and to predict outcomes. But consider carefully, have your efforts ever genuinely brought you peace? Has the relentless pursuit of control ever made you feel truly safe or calm? If you're honest, you'll likely notice that the harder you grasp, the more exhausted and helpless you become. Think of this struggle like gripping sand in your hand. The tighter your hold, the faster it escapes your fingers. In your effort to control life's uncertainties, the very security you seek slips further away, leaving you feeling depleted and increasingly uncertain. Pause here just for a moment and genuinely ask yourself, have you ever wondered why your attempts at feeling secure leave you even more tired, anxious, and powerless? This paradox, the deeper truth within Alan Watts' insight, is profound yet subtle. You're not anxious simply because life is unpredictable. You're anxious because you're unwilling to embrace that unpredictability. Eastern philosophies have long understood this delicate balance, teaching that genuine peace arises not from control, but from acceptance and flow. It's not the unpredictability of life itself, but your resistance to it that generates your deepest suffering. But let's take a step deeper into the mystery. Beneath your conscious efforts to control your life lies an even more fundamental reality: your biology. Neuroscientist Robert Sapolsky reveals something powerful. Your ancient brain doesn't know the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. The part of your mind designed to protect you from immediate physical danger, predators, threats, survival, now activates daily in response to your worries about work, relationships, deadlines, and countless hypothetical scenarios. Imagine lying safely in your bed, your doors locked, your home secure, yet your heart races, your muscles tense, your breath quickens, as if you're preparing to face a genuine threat. Why does this happen? Because to your brain, the imagined dangers are just as real as physical ones. Your primitive brain interprets the worries of your modern life as life-threatening crises. Reflect on this deeply for a moment. Are you truly facing real dangers, or are you simply battling shadows and illusions that your mind has conjured? Each anxious thought, Each troubling scenario you rehearse in your mind triggers a primal stress response, flooding your body with adrenaline and cortisol. Over time, these imagined threats become your daily reality, leaving you chronically exhausted, tense, and unsettled. But it doesn't have to stay this way. Understanding the biological foundation of your anxiety can become your key to liberation. Not through suppression or denial, but through gentle awareness. Now, if anxiety arises from both your psychological resistance to uncertainty and your biological reactions to imagined threats, could anxiety itself carry an important message for you? Could anxiety actually be a form of language, an inner signal calling your attention to something profoundly important yet overlooked? Perhaps anxiety is neither a defect nor a curse. Rather, it may be a gentle yet persistent voice within you, alerting you to a subtle yet crucial imbalance, the growing gap between the life you present externally and your authentic self deep within. It's a subtle warning bell, a signal that you've moved too far from who you truly are. Imagine anxiety like a fire alarm inside your soul. You might try covering your ears, ignoring it, or hoping it stops ringing on its own. But the underlying issue won't disappear until you address what's truly causing the alarm to sound. Your anxiety isn't trying to harm you. It's simply calling your attention back toward your authentic inner life, quietly reminding you that something essential has been overlooked or forgotten. Ask yourself honestly, have you ever genuinely paused and listened carefully to what your anxiety might be trying to communicate to you? According to Carl Jung, every inner experience has symbolic meaning, a deeper significance waiting to be understood. Anxiety from this perspective becomes a powerful symbolic messenger, highlighting the imbalance and disconnection within your life. Your anxious feelings might not be random or meaningless. They could represent a profound inner invitation, encouraging you to rediscover your authentic self. Could anxiety be urging you toward a journey inward, toward greater alignment with your inner truths, values, and feelings? Rather than continuing to resist anxiety or treating it as your adversary, what might happen if you decided instead to quietly, compassionately engage with it? What if, instead of silencing the alarm, you chose to patiently and gently explore why it's ringing in the first place? Remember, anxiety isn't here to torment you. It's here to wake you up. It's here to reconnect you to a life that feels truthful, balanced, and real. The inner discomfort you feel might simply be your spirit reminding you that you've drifted away from yourself, that it's time to return home. So, before moving forward, take a moment of gentle reflection. What might your anxiety truly want you to see or understand about yourself? Have you considered the possibility that anxiety isn't your enemy at all, but rather your most honest and compassionate guide, quietly urging you to reclaim the life you genuinely deserve? Perhaps all this time you've believed anxiety is something to escape, an obstacle blocking you from experiencing the peaceful life you've always envisioned. But what if, hidden beneath its unsettling exterior, anxiety quietly serves as your most truthful guide, a teacher brave enough to deliver messages no one else dares to whisper? When everything around you seems calm on the surface, and yet beneath it you still sense an invisible tension, it might be worth considering a different perspective. Maybe this inner restlessness isn't here to torment you, but instead to illuminate aspects of yourself you've spent years carefully ignoring or silently denying. Anxiety can hold a rare kind of courage. It doesn't comfort you with illusions or gentle lies. Instead, it confronts you directly, offering you the chance to clearly see the gap between the life you're living outwardly and the authentic self you've kept hidden within. Think of anxiety as a mirror, crystal clear and uncompromising. Unlike those around you who might reassure you with comforting half-truths, anxiety faithfully reflects every contradiction, every suppressed longing, every internal conflict you'd rather not acknowledge. It shows you exactly where you've been holding back your true self, highlighting areas of your life where you've traded genuine expression for comfortable illusions, acceptance, or security. This mirror isn't here to shame or condemn you, but simply to reflect the truth back to you. It shows you how exhausting it can be to uphold the image of who you believe you're expected to be. You sense it each time your chest tightens, each time your breathing grows shallow. These signals emerge not as punishments, but as reminders. Reminders that perhaps you've drifted too far from who you truly are. Imagine yourself for a moment without the mask you habitually wear, without the protective layer that keeps your vulnerabilities hidden from view. Consider what it would feel like to finally allow yourself the freedom to drop the exhausting role you've adopted over the years. Without that burden, something significant might surface, a part of you that's genuine, alive, and entirely your own. Beneath all these layers lies a voice, quiet but persistent, patiently waiting for the chance to speak clearly again. You've probably felt, at various points, an unspoken tension within conversations, a subtle discomfort in certain decisions or moments, signals gently pointing toward areas where you've compromised your inner truth. Perhaps you dismissed these signals because acknowledging them felt too risky or uncomfortable. Yet anxiety patiently waits, reminding you gently that the longer you delay facing this inner truth, the louder its voice becomes. What if this inner discomfort isn't random at all, but a finely tuned alarm signaling an imbalance between the self you present externally and your authentic inner reality? You might have been led to believe this unease must be overcome or silenced at all costs. Yet it keeps returning, not out of cruelty, but as an insistent invitation to stop running, to finally pause and truly listen. Inside each moment of anxiety lies the potential for profound self-discovery. It is neither your opponent nor your tormentor, but an ally disguised in the language of tension and unease. Its true intention isn't to trap you or weaken your spirit. Rather, anxiety seeks to restore your alignment with the deeper currents of your inner life. Its purpose isn't punishment, but gentle awakening, encouraging you to return to the essential truths you've gradually forgotten. Have you considered what your life might become if you chose to embrace this subtle invitation rather than resist it? Imagine the emotional liberation that would accompany the willingness to acknowledge openly the internal divisions you've been maintaining. Without the constant vigilance of hiding, defending, and pretending, you might finally begin to breathe easier, lighter, more freely. Authentic creativity, forgotten desires, or genuine connections you've suppressed for too long might begin to surface naturally, no longer forced into silence. This transformation isn't about dramatic upheaval. It's simply about quiet honesty, a willingness to reconnect with parts of you that feel genuine, peaceful, and profoundly true. Anxiety doesn't ask you for grand gestures or elaborate solutions. Instead, it offers an uncomplicated yet profound invitation. Release the illusions you've been clinging to and make gentle, steady moves toward authenticity. Perhaps at first this process feels uncertain, even frightening. After all, you've spent a lifetime building those careful defenses and routines. Yet deep down, you also sense that continuing this way isn't sustainable, that something within you quietly longs for release, recognition, and expression. Allow yourself a moment to acknowledge this quiet longing, not by force, not by pressure, but simply through gentle openness. Recognize that anxiety has never truly wanted to keep you trapped. It has only sought your attention, inviting you into a deeper relationship with yourself. Consider the possibility that beneath anxiety's outward discomfort lies a profound opportunity, the chance to rediscover your truest self and to bring your inner and outer lives into closer harmony. Genuine freedom, after all, isn't found in the absence of anxiety or discomfort, but rather in a quiet acceptance of their presence and a willingness to understand the messages they carry. Anxiety, when seen clearly, stops being a force working against you and becomes a guide carefully directing you toward healing, authenticity, and self-awareness. Ultimately, anxiety points you back toward yourself, patiently waiting until you're ready to truly hear the truths it carries. Once you stop running, once you gently choose to turn and face what it's showing you, a quiet, lasting liberation begins. A life previously governed by avoidance transforms into one defined by deeper presence, authenticity, and emotional freedom. If you finally chose to pause your resistance, what long-held, deeply buried truths might begin to surface within you, gently guiding you toward the life you've always quietly longed to live. You are not weak, and you are certainly not flawed. The anxiety you've struggled with isn't a sign that something inside you is broken. Instead, consider this. Anxiety might simply be your own voice, quietly and persistently calling out to you, asking you to pause and reconnect with parts of yourself you've long forgotten or overlooked. Anxiety isn't your enemy. It's more like a quiet guardian, nudging you to remember who you truly are beneath the masks you've learned to wear. All the tension, restlessness, and silent unease you've experienced, these aren't random or meaningless. They're deeply meaningful signals, patiently alerting you to the moments when you've drifted away from your authentic path. Like the gentle, persistent ringing of a bell in the distance, anxiety waits for you to finally slow down and truly listen, not with fear, not with resistance, but with curiosity and openness. So, right here at this very moment, what if you chose to listen differently? If your anxiety were holding an essential truth for you, something you've always sensed but rarely acknowledged, what might it be trying to tell you? Is it a quiet plea for greater authenticity in your relationships? An invitation to slow down and honor your true passions and desires? Or perhaps simply a gentle reminder that it's okay to let go of the burden of perfection you've been carrying for so long? In truth, only you can answer these questions. But the moment you choose to listen to anxiety with openness rather than resistance, something powerful shifts. This gentle yet profound act of listening becomes an invitation for self-compassion, awareness, and lasting inner freedom. Right now, allow yourself the space and courage to engage openly with this inner voice. If anxiety is gently trying to communicate something important to you, what is it? When you're ready, share your insight in the comments below. Your honesty, vulnerability, and courage in acknowledging your truth might be exactly what someone else silently needs to hear. Your story could inspire another person to listen carefully to their own inner voice and begin their own healing journey. Remember, anxiety isn't here to punish you. It's here to help guide you home to yourself. Trust its quiet message, embrace the courage to share your truth, and in doing so, help yourself and perhaps someone else move one step closer to genuine healing and authentic living.